stretch of round-robin play at the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Things starting to thaw out. Things starting to divide between the playoff teams and the non-contenders. As we look along the lake, Lake Nipissing here, one coast, one side of North Bay, Trout Lake on the other, right in the middle, North Bay Memorial Gardens Sports Arena, as we get set for our feature game here in session 13. It is Canada taking on Korea. Luke Coley, pleasure to be with you, joined with Rona Howie as the teams making their way into the building, onto the ice surface, being introduced. Could be a loud, boisterous crowd for a pivotal game between Canada and Korea. Well, and as we get set, let's meet the teams. For Canada, their lead, Dawn McEwen. Second, Jill Officer. Third, Caitlin Laws. Skipped by six-time Canadian champion and 2008 world champ Jennifer Jones. And they will take on the Olympic silver medalist. A very familiar name now in the curling world. They aren't going to surprise anyone with their lead, Kim Young-mi. Second, Kim Sun-young. Their third, Kim Ka-young-ae. And their skip, Kim Young-jung. Went on quite the run, finished first in round robin at the Olympics, losing the final to Sweden. Coming in right now, 6-1 in the standings. You'll see them there. Even in the wins with Canada at 6-0, Sweden atop at 8-0, then Russia 4-2, Czech Republic 4-3. 3-3-4 teams, China, Japan, and the USA, while Switzerland lingering at 3-5, then Italy and Scotland with 2 wins, Denmark 1-6, as well as Germany. We are in session 13 on sheet A, USA 3-4 taking on China at 3-4. Our feature game will be on sheet B. On sheet C, it's Italy at 2-5 taking on Denmark. While on sheet D, another playoff pivotal game, Russia taking on the Czech Republic. And Rona, now it's time where teams are separating themselves. Keep moving up and down the standings. Canada, Korea, this one to determine really have a big influence on that 1-2 spots.
Yeah, it's this time of the round robin where it's just passing halfway and you can start to see the break in the wins and loss records. But yeah, this game, Canada, you know, they are undefeated. Korea have only lost one, so this is a pivotal game for final rankings come the end of the week.
Canada knows they have a tough day ahead of them. Korea already winning earlier today, playing one more game. They beat USA 9-8 in an extra end. Canada will have the red stones. They got last stone, and they've been very efficient with last stone. So we look at the rules of play, 6 ends minimum, 38 minutes of thinking time, and 1 60-second timeout. Canada had a hard-fought win last night against Scotland. Korea, hard-fought extra end win against the USA earlier today. So both these teams gearing up and knowing this will be a pivotal matchup. Canadian side going unbeaten at the World Championship last year to be the world champs. They're undefeated right now. It's so tough to go undefeated. That's why last year was the first time ever at the Women's World Championship. Yep. 19 straight wins for the Canadian side at the Women's World Championship.
And now this year with 13 teams in the round robin to go 12 undefeated and then 2 playoff games, it's a big ask.
Well, the music's turned down now. Time to get all 4 games into action. Canada won the last stone draw. This will be number 6. 6 out of 7 games they'll have last stone in the first end. Canada right up there as far as percentage, plus minus points for and against. Efficient, not giving up multiple points. So we see the 2 skips down there. Smiles now.
My coach to Are they here? No. Oh.
Yeah, some friendly chat before the big rivalry starts.
Kim Young-mi will get this game going as with the Yellowstones. Well, this Korean side very aggressive. There's no problem going after it. Their only loss of the event coming to Sweden in that Olympic final rematch. Dawn McEwen is in her 5th World Championship.
Line's good.
All of them played here with Jennifer Jones.
Line's great.
Yep, always nice to be Canadian, playing a Canadian World Championships on home turf with the support of the crowd.
The Canadian team has done well, Jennifer Jones, when she's been on home soil.
I think we're behind. Should have gone sooner. What? I should have gone sooner.
Bronze medal in 2010 in Swift Current, won their only World Championship. Jennifer Jones' only World Championship in 2008 in Vernon, BC, Canada. Their other medal was a silver. 2015, Sapporo, Japan.
Dawn McEwen slipping back behind the tee gives Korea the chance to freeze that.
Both these teams will have to be right on in their game.
Back forward, back eight. Back eight, probably don't.
Not much to really choose between both these teams percentage-wise. Leads pretty close, little advantage to the Korean side, Kim Young-mi at 89 to 85 for Dawn McEwen. But overall as a team, 1 percentage difference. We'll expect to see lots of shots made both ways.
Hard, guys, if you're light, you gotta go. Okay, whoa, rub it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just see it, Mo. Okay. Okay, Dawn.
Well, an early mistake by the Canadian side, not getting down to it, being a little deep on Dawn McEwen's first. Korea has no problem putting the guards out in front.
Yep, and last night the ice technicians gave the stones a rub with some fine sandpaper to give them a bit more curl today. So that might catch the teams out a wee bit until they get used to it.
Well, Kim Sun-young become the famous garlic girls in their hometown where garlic has grown in Korea. Just guarding up those stones in the forefoot.
Heel, 3/4.
Just fractionally over curled. Jennifer Jones immediately goes out to remove the long guard.
Jill Officer, 42 years of age, and in her, as she says, her final competition, going to
My bad.
retire
Sorry.
following this curling season. We'll say it's their final event. There's still a couple of World Curling Tour events that they'll play. Just
Yeah.
peels that top one off.
It'll be very hard for her to sit on the bench or look from afar after being so involved for so long.
She's been with Jennifer Jones since their junior days. 6 Canadian championships. Would love to add a second world title to the one they won 10 years ago. Korea, a little bit of unfinished business, they'd probably say, after finishing runner-up, the second place finish in
Is the hair high, eh?
Pyeongchang and the Olympic Winter Games.
Is the hair high? Yeah. Do you guys like going this way? We could always clip that red.
Yeah, they were disappointed with their performance there in the final. They did such a solid week and just really struggled in the final against Sweden.
Yep. Yep. Hard. No roll, no roll. Get it. Okay.
Well, they do get everything, but they leave the guards.
Better. Yeah.
Spill off a little bit. They have some options, but it's still Korea in control and in a potential steal position.
Yeah, the only danger stone now for Korea is that red that Canada can use to tap up.
Might have the tap or may have the out-turn draw. I don't know if they can get shot stone that way. Kim Ka-young-ae, 24-year-old, third.
Is this going to get over though?
Well, the Hogstone trying to be such a long guard comes up short. So Canada now needs to take advantage.
Yep, they think they can come round here, just a tap back weight, tap the stone off the 1 foot.
Caitlin Laws, who was also in Pyeongchang, she was on top of the podium and the mixed doubles competition with her partner John Morris, winning the first ever Olympic medal in that discipline. Big scrub to get by. Thought they could have went a little more and tapped it to get shot.
Great shot. See how much that's coming in at the end.
I don't think they got shot stone. It's very close.
It's close.
There's a look from the overhead. It looks like it is, to me, that yellow stone. Kim Ka-young-ae now just trying to draw in, close in the rings, maybe take away that red tap.
Yeah, because we've just seen how easy it is to come round in that out turn for Canada, so Korea need to block this. This is going to over curl as well.
Their shot. Do you like playing the freeze? Sure. Or do you like running that? Not bad either.
Yeah, if they could raise that red guard,
We run it on towers. Pretty good.
that would be a great
We're
result.
in a good spot.
I know, I'm thinking. Yeah. I think the draw.
Okay. This?
Yeah, because then it
Okay.
leaves Jen this.
Same weight's close.
Yeah, if we tap theirs, it's not bad.
That'd be, yeah, then we like two.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be a great option.
I think I can throw a hair less, but it was more ice, so it might be the same. All live.
Line's good. T-line. Yeah, a little bit. Hard. T-line. Gotta go. Hard line. Hard line. Hard. Hard for everything. Go.
Sweeper's having to work this really hard for line.
Go, Dawn. You got it. Go, go, go. Go. You got it. Get it by ours. Go. Hard, hard, hard. Okay.
Just out there a little more. A little slower. There, yeah.
Well, great sweep to get it that far. I didn't think they'd have a chance to get it into the 4 foot.
Come the same, and it'd be okay in that piece, so yeah.
Close to going on that side.
Jill Officer and Dawn McEwen really working this one to try and get it down into the 4 foot.
I feel like I threw too much left.
Still shot stone though for
Hair,
Korea.
but I threw it better.
Korea living a wee bit dangerously though now. There's quite a few reds in there.
Yeah, just because then the run is so much better.
Can they make the double through the hole?
They can.
This is the type of call they have no problem putting the broom down and playing. Kim Young-jung showed that at the Olympics and so far this week.
Well, she can't see the whole stone. She can basically just see as much as she needs to hit. So it's quite tight past the top one.
Well, first of Skip Stone's 27-year-old Skip. Trying to make the double, get one, spin it off that other one to lie shot again. Not quite where they wanted to, but they do move those two away.
Just need to curl a fraction more there.
Well, there's such a precise spot to hit that one to make the double
So
without
is it
touching
heavier
it,
than
but
draw the button or
knew
close?
that was a possibility.
I think that pass was a hair heavier than
agree,
draw
yeah.
the button.
Yeah. Be great if we could tap this rock, guys, but it's all lines.
But now
for
that-
the freeze.
The shot stone is behind the tee line. It gives Jennifer Jones a chance to freeze on top.
Back 4, back 8.
No, then.
Back 8.
No,
Back
then.
12.
No.
No, then.
Ever.
Well, they said maybe a little heavier than draw to the button, which Jennifer did throw.
Back 8. It's really come back 12.
Trying.
It's really
Go
trying.
by it.
Okay. What do you get, Kayla?
I
12
thought she'd be a little bit closer than that one.
Okay, good.
Goes back 8 foot. Now a good chance to try and set up the steal.
What?
Korea's been very efficient in holding their
Why?
opponents with the hammer to
I just the
a single point.
Difference in
Dead
weight.
weight.
72% force efficiency.
definitely came last, like top 12 in.
Canada hasn't given up many steals. They've been very good with the hammer, so that'll be something to watch.
The battle of the two different tactical sides. The important thing is here for Korea that they don't come too far and leave a double. They're better stopping shorter.
It's the final stone. Kim Young-jung. Well, they gotta tuck a little bit inside. Question is, did they? Is there a way you can play that and try and punch it through the hole?
How much?
Probably an half, eh? Sorry to dead, not bad. Yeah. Okay, I like that better, I think.
Get what they can see. I think you can make the double, bring those two
Third
into
you
play.
need, don't you?
A third, yeah.
Yeah, that was a danger with
feel like we
Korea
have if
bringing
not
that one right in. They had to make sure
Pretty
it was
hard
going
to
to
dead,
bury.
not that, without spinning it.
If
Yeah.
not, they had to leave it short. So it does give Canada the chance, though. It is there. It's thin.
The worry that Jen was talking about in sticking it on that back red, tough to get by and leave it in there to give a steal a 2.
Yeah, the likelihood is she would
Just as easy
spin
as
off
tap for one.
the back yellow and then it would jam on the red. If she can hit what she can see, she'll get a result.
Well, Final stone here, the first end for Jennifer
Hard.
Jones.
Yeah. Hard. Hard.
Well, by one, by the second, by the third. And they actually touch that top yellow, still make contact, almost make the double, but it's a steal for Korea to start things off.
Sorry, I thought you were backing it up.
Watch this one, it gets by the second, but touches that third stone. Just grazed that
feathers
yellow
to-
one. Actually, very fortunate it didn't stick on that one because it almost did. So it is a steal by Korea. They strike first in a pivotal playoff game. Well, we begin here the second end of play. Canada-Korea game with huge playoff importance. Positioning, 13-team field. 6 teams will make the playoffs. The top 2 get a bye straight to the semifinals. The other 4 will play in the quarters, 2 quarterfinals. So getting them one of those top 2 spots could be determined in this game today.
Yeah, Canada's got a tough day today, Korea and Sweden, so 2 of the table toppers.
Well, it's tough to say if the double was there for Jennifer Jones in that last end. It looks like it straightened on the second guard. Third one, it definitely made contact and just redirected it enough that they got rid of one.
Yeah, at least she got rid of one of the counters, and I suppose that would be one of her main objectives, to cut them down to 1 if the double wasn't there.
So for Estonian, the corner guard goes up. Canada has to try and stay patient. They've been good in getting forces, or pardon me, in getting multiple scores with the hammer throughout the week. Kim Young-mi. Nice pair to start things off for the Korean side. Well, good spot. They Just take that one, top of the 8-foot. That's good angle onto that Korean stone. That's what Korea does well. They get one in there, they bring play to the center, and they don't let you try and play any offense.
Yeah, they're very good at controlling that top of the 4-foot.
That's that back and forth, the cat and mouse, the battle of the angles. Who makes the move first?
Even if you dead jam that and roll. You like that? Okay, nose it and make that double. Okay, let's try that. Nose it. First.
So if you want to be raising a stone out front into the pile in the house, Jill Officer's the person to do it. Been very accurate all week.
Yeah, she's at 86%.
Clean. No.
Right up there with her usual numbers at all
Clean,
these
yep,
major events.
Yep. Roll it. Yep. Roll it. Roll it.
Good.
They get rid of the back end, but they're hoping to nose it.
14 and a half.
So that's right.
Just kind of hoping to leave that backing on their stone for a little bit longer.
She did move the guard off the centre line though, so at least it's slightly more open.
Up a little hit, roll away, lie 2.
Did the Canadian stone?
It did jam on the back, I think. So it stays just as a nibbler.
That could be an important nibbler come the end if it's for 2.
I had 11-2 on theirs, and I look close to them. Okay.
Off if you're heavy for sure.
Close.
Needs to curl a lot.
Coming
No,
off.
clean.
Trying to get the inside roll. Just catches it in the nose though.
So lie 2nd and 3rd. Now hitting this one. May not be in the rings. Actually sizing up to try and make that double. Kim Kayong 8, first of 3rd stones. Get one, try and catch that back one. And I'll jam it. Does it stay in the rings? It will.
Just. And this Korean team, you know, they've spent a long time in Canada this season just playing games and training and playing against Jennifer Jones and many of the other ladies teams in Canada just to get that experience and develop them.
Line's tight. Line's real tight. You got it. Gotta go. Coming down. Through. Gotta go. Like Jen. It's really coming down.
Really light.
This is the short.
Try and get it by the Jill.
Hard.
Try and get it by the Jill.
Get it in, Jill. Get it in. Go.
Oh, well swept.
They kept saying it was there, and then the weight just kept coming off as it took the curl.
Oh, I think if I fall through deeper. Yeah. Okay. I think this speed was coming off right from my hand.
So with these two biters, it's important for Korea to get this in.
More than that, yeah.
So doubles there for Canada.
Yeah, people may have been tempted to play the double right away, but it's a patient approach by the Canadian side, and now puts the pressure to make this shot if you're Korea.
And this one's taking a long time to curl. Just a bit heavy.
Spania just a little wider, it didn't curl quite as much, and a little bit more weight.
Just that ounce of running seems to hold it for quite a bit longer. Now gives Canada the chance to freeze this.
Line's good, Rue. We need forefoot, guys. Golden, really hard. Really hard. Needs to finish if you can. The line's good. Squeeze for speed. You need forefoot. Keep it going, guys. Hard. You gotta go, 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 go.
Comes up short again.
So that's two that come up short of where they wanted to get to.
Both swept from the minute it left it Caitlin's hands. The sweepers are having to work hard today.
Now, Roni, you said they did paper the stones and get a little more curl. Will that cause them to be slower?
Yeah, so if they curl more, it will take more weight off it as the stone starts to die. So it would just need that ounce more running to be able to cope with the bigger swing.
라인이 좀 중요하긴 한데 내 가는 라인이면 저 빨간색의 브리지까지. 근데 너무 안쪽으로 브리지 되면 안 되고. 거의 근데 저거
But it
가드만
was such a
지나가면
fine
라인은
rubbing that it's not made them really aggressive. It's just helped fractionally to make them have a better finish. So it shouldn't affect the weight too much.
And that'll help later on towards the playoffs as well, so that a little more grip
Yeah,
won't get worn down as they would if they didn't do it.
because if they'd left them all week, by the time you had your 13-team round robin and your playoffs, you would really see the stones straightening up by the end of the week. And you don't want that when you get to playoff stages.
Well, I think they got caught in that same path that Canada's got caught a couple times in.
Even if we're just edge to edge, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a hard time.
You got it. Is this your path or a little wider? A little wider. Should be close.
It's not throwing that?
Yeah.
Okay, so get pulled a little bit. It's not heavy, is it?
No, it's not
It
heavy.
just seems to be sweeping everything to.
What did you feel? You felt it was.
I felt like it threw 4.5. It was
Yeah.
a little light.
You need full four.
So having the communication with their sweepers, Jennifer just confirming what weight she needs to throw here.
Line's good. Line's good. Clean it.
Well, it's all about using your eyes and the stopwatch to help you.
Line's great.
Yeah, the stopwatch is a good guide.
Hard. Hard.
Gotta get past ours. Get past ours. Okay. Sorry. That was rough.
Came down, they actually took extra ice so they wouldn't be even buried, so they can still use it.
Sorry, Jen.
Making it harder and harder now to get at that one back forefoot.
Yeah, Korea could really just guard it all and say, well,
Nice throw.
근데 어차피 얘도 없잖아. 거기.
you need to draw for one.
Well, and right now the only draw for one, maybe on that opposite side, the outturn side, the counterclockwise rotation for Jennifer Jones.
And I'm sure Korea would be happy to leave her that and say, well, here, you get your one that way then.
가는데 라인이 중요해서 웨이트.
Well, so far the force
정도가 제일 나아.
ability of Korea is in effect. You put one up, forcing Jen to play that to try and get a single point.
You might have just the draw to the side of the forefoot.
That's why Jones was hoping she may leave that one open, that if
Tip.
it doesn't make this, they'd have an opportunity to play a little tap or a raise.
Yeah, because there's not even a roll off the winger one. It's too high. This is over curling though. Still give her the opportunity to come in that same side. Tap or red, or just go for the dead draw to the forefoot.
Do you like the slash for two, or do you like trying to make sure we
얘값도
score?
너무 많이 돌았나?
Yeah, I like that. Is the draw easier
Or
than the
draw.
tap?
I think Jen's
What is
going to
this
go with the
about,
slash double.
It's very, very
About a
thin
About a
though.
third? You like that better?
I'm like the draw is there, but it's a little patchy. So I say they're both
Pardon me?
patchy for speed. So I'd say it's similar.
Do you guys like this or drawing here? I thought about the tap. I know this is for two. Or we throw that.
I think the draw is easier.
My first thought was the tap.
Almost fully
What?
buried.
If we can tap that red a little bit. This one.
Yeah.
For what?
It's almost
Yeah,
fully
that's what I
buried
like.
though.
Oh, I like that better than the draw too. I
You
would
like the
this-
tap better than the
yeah,
draw?
Yeah,
I think
it's just easier for speed. Okay. Up here.
I can throw back line at it almost, Caitlin.
That's the thought, is the slashes, you either give up a steal or you score
You
two.
don't want to try for two? I guess that was what I was asking. Like,
I think it's important to score.
I think the draw on the side of the forefoot and new stuff is hard.
The draw is hard. Yeah, I agree. The tap is almost kind of.
What do you like, Rona?
I think I could do it.
I think the tap, because she's just come down that line with several stones. She knows the line, she knows the weight. She doesn't need to tap it far, and she's got quite a lot of room for error with it.
Well, the tap is the call here for Jennifer Jones in her last shot. Second end.
Becky! Close! Back 12, Becky! Back 12! You gotta hit it thin! Whoa!
Starting to come now
Whoa,
though.
whoa, whoa, whoa! Caitlin, hard, Caitlin, go, 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 go.
Well, chip it in, and Canada will be able to get their one, since scoring was important. And there's the single point for Team Canada. We have a tie game. 2 ends in. Lots of fun already. 8 more to play.
Wait, actually, let's
And
do
a
that.
1-1 tie.
Came off a lot more than I thought it would.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I thought I could throw that on my second one too. Like this.
Well, we are underway here in this third end of play, the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Luke Coley with Rona Howie as we bring you live coverage of this Canada-Korea game, and it's been a fun first couple ends. Both teams struggling a little bit with the draw weight, haven't been able to set things up they wanted to. Korea gets the hammer now in this third end, and a tie game.
Just slid back tee, so Canada can freeze that.
Well, Dawn McEwen's had good numbers, but they're lower than what you're personally have used to seeing her at Canadian Championships. Normally a little bit higher. You're seeing in the 90s. She just 85. She's had some low games. Struggled maybe getting a few of the stones that they haven't had a better read on, and trying to manage it. Right there, no problem, right to the button.
Perfect. Yeah, the lead usually has to deal with any stones that aren't a perfect match. If there's not a great pair, then the lead's the one that always has to manage them. But to be fair, these sets of stones are pretty good. This is tight of line. Korea are going to catch the top guard.
Well, so a mistake there by the Korean side. And we saw a couple by Canada early. They were chasing in the first two ends.
Even if Korea had split that with a fraction more weight, they would then have had two corners, which would have been quite beneficial.
Okay, you got a bite center.
But it's Canada's turn now to put the guards up and guard their stone on the button.
Yep.
Yeah, these are two teams able to score with the hammer and force without. I think we already saw one steal by Korea, but whoever's going to be able to score those multiple points or gets a steal. We've seen one already by Korea. We'll see if Canada can answer with their own or even a force.
Yeah, as you say, the team that can most effectively use the hammer to score two is probably more likely to come out triumphant in the game.
Just trying to open in the front up, but still leaves a couple of guards. Still Canada lying one right on the button. This is the third end of our feature game.
A little longer this time. Halfway.
Keep you up to date all the other games as well. Russia, Czech Republic.
Can I throw the same side?
Russia at 4-2, Czech Republic 4-3, and it's a 2-2 game. Trading deuces over there on sheet D. They play the third end, Russia with the hammer. Italy and Denmark. Italy at 2-5, still on that 5-loss cusp that we think might be the bottom end of where the playoffs will be.
Line's decent.
They're in a 1-1 game with Denmark at 1-6. Denmark has the hammer playing 3.
Line's good.
USA and China both at 3-4 records. Don't really want to drop a fifth. Crucial game, and the U.S. scores 2 after a blank first as they play in the third.
Little bit. Good shot.
It's now Canada's turn. Put up the long guard.
And the positioning of that Canadian stone right on the 1 foot. Korea are going to have to just keep clearing right now. There's no way around to that.
Kim Sun-young, or known as Sunny. Oh, a little fall, but avoids the disaster of burning the stone.
She did well to avoid it. She's laughing.
All smiles there. Well, we'll get another look here. Kept sweeping while on the knees as well.
Yeah, she wasn't far from touching it. She did well to avoid
Well
it.
played there.
And she opened the front, which was one of the main objectives there.
Needs to curl. Line's real good.
Oh, Kim
Needs to finish it.
Kayong 8.
Hard, go! Hard! Go, 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 go!
It's a bit longer, that guard. Didn't curl over enough. Can Korea come round and just tap it back? Even get a roll behind their yellows. Tolerance on this side of the even high, they could catch their own yellow quite thin and split it in. Oh, just like that.
Well, for not being able to get at it, that's the miss, to split those in.
Yeah, which one though?
Just draw here.
I don't know if I like
You don't
that.
get second here.
Okay,
Okay, I like hitting, I think, but. You like this one?
I think so.
I guess.
That's what I like.
But if you knows that we're second.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, this is ideal, but if you don't make the perfect roll, we're. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what? You like hit?
Throw a here, out here. Nice. Whoa, no.
Moving.
Clean.
Whoa.
Big.
No! Often.
They wanted nose, because that'll be second shot.
Okay, Caitlin.
Okay.
Okay.
But rolls away, and the half shot now opens things up. Was a miss by Korea? They missed the right way. Caitlin, her half shot. No
Good
real
try.
good way to miss that. Other than maybe rolling in. There's an opportunity to lie too for Korea.
Get rid of your rocks. I don't like that.
Yeah, they've just seen the path and the way in with their first stone here, so she plays the same tap back weight. So definitely tighter line. There it goes.
Well, had to wait for the curl. They don't tap it far enough to lie two, but they will lie shot in front of the tee line.
Took a long time to start drawing that one. They couldn't sweep it at all. At least it lies short, and Canada have to make a play on it.
It's got to stick in the 8-foot, Don. I feel like it doesn't go very far when you hit it. Yeah. It just feels really dead. No.
A bit more weight than Korea played,
Close. Just bump.
but it will start coming.
actually stuck around a lot more than I thought. With that weight, I thought they'd maybe roll out.
Caitlin, was it good? 10-9.
Well, opens up that scoring zone for Korea. Try and set up a skips deuce. Now they can play the straight draw.
I don't know. She also looked at hitting off this winger and rolling over. But I think the draw, even if she comes back and freezes the red, she will lie short.
아예 갈 수 있으면 가야 되고 아니면 그냥 히트 롤 살짝만 가.
Yep, so going for the hit and roll.
Well, the hit. Now will they get the double? Push that one out. Will lie one.
So I think
She was unlucky that her shooter stayed in the open, or fairly open for Canada. She wasn't far away from getting it perfectly.
Well, punches that one out to the side. Canada now needs to make a little roll. Can't roll away
like a solid hack. Just
too far and leave a double.
Pretty decent weight. Yeah. So can't really roll it. We have to. If we can roll it low, we just score nose.
Even if she hits on the nose, their line two forces the one. Wouldn't be an easy double if she does hit this in the nose.
Solid hack.
Close.
Well, made the hit on her first. Now Jennifer Jones.
Yep. Whoa. Weights up.
Clean.
It's like bumper.
Clean.
Yep.
Wow.
Hard. No roll.
Well, rolls right up to it.
More 10-8. 10-8. Like the same base, we should 10-8.
To sit right in front of the other one. Lie two, and that should be good to force the draw for a single point.
A little bit less, wasn't it?
I had more, but.
Or are they playing a split?
Yep, certainly with that ice, it looks like it, whether it's a straight tap or the split.
Heavier out here. Right through that draw.
But she's got to move that one
It's not an
right
easy
into
one.
the 8 foot. That's not easy. And then get her shooter over into the 8 foot.
인터뷰로 가는 게 좀 더 나을 것 같긴 해. 여기가 너무 좁아. 저쪽에서 봤을 때는
I thought she would just play the intern draw.
저쪽이 맞아. 둘 다 근데 애매하긴 애매한데 얘는 근데 위쪽에
이거보다는
있어서
이게 맞는 것 같아요.
이거보다는
네, 만약에 언니 오프 되면 이거 탭이라도 하고. 근데 일로 오면은 걸리면 끝이에요. 타이트하면 언니 이거 맞고 이거 들어오기라도 하면 돼요. 이쪽이 맞는 것 같아요. 네.
Well, took another look to see. I think if you're playing the straight draw, you're probably playing the intern.
저기서 보면 근데 저기가 되게 좁아. 그래서
Still sticking. It looked like they saw the indication for a split.
약하지 않은 웨이트
Very difficult at the angle coming in to push that one that's going to be in the 8 foot. Out counting the two reds. And get your shooter in as well.
Successful in making lots of shots. Sometimes may surprise you with a call, but they execute. And Kim Young-jung trying to get a deuce. They've been able to do it 41% of the time.
Got to make sure she gets her one here.
Now it's curling past, just a straight draw, as it'll come right down to the button area and get their one. So all the talk, the split doesn't happen. It's a single point. And all we've done is trade singles through 3 ends. Korea with that single point advantage.
기다리니까 끝에 너무 많이 풀었어.
Well, we'll keep you up to date. The other games going on. Sheet A, USA still leading as they force China to 1 in the third, so 2-1 as they play in end number 4. And USA with the hammer there. Our games on Sheet B, 2-1 Korea leading. Sheet C, Italy gets a steal of 3 in the third to go up 4-1 over Denmark. And on Sheet D, Russia gets their second deuce of the game. They've traded deuces for the first 3. 4-2. Russia leads. Czech Republic with the hammer. Both those teams on Sheet D, 4 wins. Russia at 4-2. Czech Republic 4-3. In the 13-team round robin, thinking 7-5, probably the cutoff. Where you're looking for playoff positioning. That would put Italy at the bottom. Have to win their last 5 to go 7-5. They're at 2-5 right now. That 6th place right now would be a 3-way tie, and there are no tiebreakers with the 13-team field. So that right now, 3 teams tied at 6 for 6th spot at 3 and 4. China and the U.S. both playing right now, so one of them will be in the 6th spot after this draw, because Japan is actually off as well, so they're 3 and 4. They'll see one of those teams to 4 and 4 will be sitting in 6th spot.
Yeah, there's such a long way to go in the round robin. You can do all the predictions, but then it is curling, and I'm sure we'll get some shock results still before the end of the week.
Kim Young-mi, or she's known, they're using English words to try and learn the language. It's known as Pancake, the nickname.
I wonder if she likes eating pancakes.
I think that's where it started.
So is it just their favourite food that they've chosen as their name?
There's a story to it. There's definitely food involved in all of them. With Kim Sun-young is sunny with eggs, sunny side up. Kim Kyong-ae is steak. And Kim Young-jung is Annie, which is actually a type of yogurt. Don McEwen goes as Don.
I don't think it's like.
Line's decent, but room.
I'm gonna say T line at first.
Line's real good.
We're really over here.
Line's good to finish. Line's good, though. Get in here.
Canadians would have to choose donut names or something.
Well, we're not
Favorite flavor of Timbit.
Yeah.
I would be apple fritter then.
Would you?
Yeah.
I think I'd be Canadian maple, but then I'm not Canadian.
Here with Rona Maple Howie.
I would need to be haggis, I think.
Haggis, there you go. Kim Sun Young at 86% on the tournament. All these players near the top half of their positions, so not a whole lot to choose between them.
And it was always going to be a test after the 10 days in Pyeongchang. If they could keep that consistency level up for the full 10 days here as well. But they're certainly holding their own at the moment.
7-8.
7-8, Peel.
My question coming in was how much they'd actually have time to practice and be prepared with the publicity, the notoriety they got after the Olympic Games. Just there's a lot of demands for your time, and you still got to make sure you're focused to come here. The other thing is, Coach Peter Gallant, who was with them for years building towards the Olympics, is not with them as a coach now. His contract actually has ended, and I think they're working if there's another one to be drawn up for Peter. This has definitely been a forced type game so far, with Jones having a shot in the first end to try and get her one. You see a steal, you see force, and then a force, and team without the hammer has been able to dictate the play.
Yep, there's certainly been no sign so far of generating a 2 with last stone. And Jones put out her corner guard again here, but she's just not getting the opportunity to use it.
Think we can play at this? You have what, 3/4?
Although that's a slight error from Korea. Their guard just stayed high and wide, so Canada can have a go at this middle one now.
Love to try and get play to the corner. If you can open that center line up. Here, the fourth end. Jailoffs are trying to move things around.
Hard! Whoa! 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 Yep! Yep! Whoa, 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 whoa!
I was hoping to try and clip that one. Just overslept it a little bit.
What?
It's pretty quiet too.
Yeah, got it.
It's tough.
I didn't want to roll that far.
어디까지? 네? 어?
네.
어디까지? 화이트. 화이트. 플랜 B는 차라리 가든. 네.
1번. 1번. 언니 제 거 끝에 좀 떨어져.
아니, 첫 번째 거는 비슷하게 한 것 같은데.
Kim Kayang-ae, we quickly move through these ends. Very similar. Team without the hammer's been throwing a lot of guards, a lot of drawaway shots, and then the other team trying to open up the center line.
This is over curling as well.
Well, here's an opening now.
I think you could get low, which is way better.
Perfect chance to get a roll behind cover now.
Thinking it's going to be a little slow in here.
Because really there were already 2 guards there, so Korea putting that third one there didn't benefit them at all. Really needed to be in front ring, half buried.
Caitlin, 85% on the championship, third among thirds. Get past the top one. Now by the next one. Get by a third. And actually rolls out the other side. What a sweep. Officer and McEwen have went hard a lot.
No kidding.
Really coming off.
I think they were feeling the louder they shouted to get it past. It was so close.
I don't think that they even thought that that red one would be a factor, and that's the one they almost crashed on too.
That's crazy. No,
The only problem for Korea, though, to try and tap that red back now, they could jam it on the yellow. Can't see it all.
Yeah, they have to bring the weight down, and it also brings the guard into play, which is a Canadian stone too, which
You don't want to tap in if you're Korea.
but you don't want to play it too wide and jam on the other one. So
I think Jennifer Jones was quite surprised how much that actually rolled out past the guard. She never thought it was possible.
I think everyone on the ice was a little surprised, but that they got it past and that they make that roll.
This one's hanging out at the moment.
Try to avoid the jam, and look at that sweep at the end.
Perfect.
Kim Sun Young able to get that late finish to lie 2.
We need forfeit, guys.
What would you think this meteor? Like, I think on the corner. Oh, I would have put like a 3.
It seems every time there's Team Canada's been throwing a draw, it's been questioning where the spot in the ice is or what the weight's going to be. Obviously, without speaking the language, the Korean language, they could be doing the same thing. There doesn't seem to be quite as much conversation.
And since the stones have been rubbed, Korea have had a game already today. Canada haven't. So that could be a factor as well.
An advantage to the Koreans.
Yes.
Weight's not bad. It's really good. Can't. Like top. What? Do I need to rub? You could.
Oh, just scraped past
Yeah.
the top guard.
Go, go, go.
Oh,
Okay.
plan B.
Okay.
It was pretty good, actually.
They've seen a lot. That first one really curled. This one under curls. Weight was maybe a bit up.
That first one, I can't believe that it didn't hit it further than that. I had an 11.9.
Yeah, and I felt like I threw.
Yeah, that's like, I mean,
Yeah.
face it up when you let it go.
Yeah, Jill thought she was being nice by saying solid hack. She was like, I would have called solid bump.
I know, so when they said that, I'm like, okay, whoa, and then it starts curling, and then it
know.
hits, and I'm like,
Just clunked. That spot's heavy. I used it off the line. I think my speed was close.
So in listening there, Caitlin talking about that spot is heavy. Is it different weights, different spots on the ice?
Yeah, so that track she came down, she's saying must be much heavier because she gave it plenty weight. But when the stones reacted in the house, it didn't really push it far back. So it was more of a thud than actually knocking the stone. And she thought the weight just came off in that track. And that's where communication's so key with the guys on the ice, because each track can be different. So it's how you best manage it.
Go.
Oh, this is that similar spot where Caitlin threw hers. Kim Young Jung. Well, makes the hit, and that one goes right through and out, so we'll lie 3.
So you saw there with the narrower track with slightly more weight, it did run straighter, whereas Caitlin had gone wider and seemed to come off the hill and get a bigger finish.
Quick update in the Russia-Czech Republic. We've had a game of forces. That's a game of deuces. 2s for both sides to set 4-4, playing the 5th Russia with the hammer.
Yeah, that's good use of the hammer. However, both these teams here would like to have that. Chance for Canada, if they can get an inside roll off this one, or I think
Straight
they're
draw.
going for the draw now, right round. It's difficult for Korea to get in. Could only really maybe raise their own yellow.
Dawn, yours took a long time to curl, hey?
So they
That's too
almost
much
love to be maybe at
Think I'm
most
better with
biting
the
the
roll?
forefoot.
Yeah, biting the 4 would be really good.
too deep, it makes that raise easier for the Koreans with that stone in the top of the 12 foot.
Good.
Are you heavy?
Yeah, yes.
Jennifer, the same percentages as Kim Young Jung. Trying to get the little rub now. Little rub, little roll into the 4 foot. Well, sometimes you need to know what you can do with the options that you have.
Yeah, they called it was heavy straight away, so
I think it's heavy, but
called on for sweeping to hold
Yeah.
that line to get the inside roll.
like I thought yours was heavy too. And
I wasn't going to be light, so I
No.
thought,
12-2.
but no, I
But I mean, like it's
was thinking of either 3. Like I was thinking to throw
yeah.
solid half, and I thought I threw a little bit more than that.
So important for Korea here not to leave Jennifer Jones a shot for 2.
If she comes down to the face, is there a shot for 2?
He's dying of weight as well.
I think you got to try and hit and roll.
Into this, and it's like even if it's hard to kill ours. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm thinking a 9
Okay.
out here. Do you think?
Chance
Yeah.
at a skips deuce now after the first draw by
Yeah,
Jones.
because even if we hit like
First
there,
chance has
yeah.
been really all game. And that was just that one good shot from Jennifer coming in. Korea were lying 3 and really had the end set well. Korea could have gone for the tap on the yellow just into the 4 foot
Run, do you think? And finish
there,
at the
but
end?
she obviously felt that was a better option.
They've left a small opening here. See, this is where the good teams take advantage, and the teams, the championship caliber teams, they can hit and roll, try and score 2. Well, they look pretty close. Hit, roll into their own. We got our first deuce. It comes in end number 4. Jennifer Jones manufactures a skips deuce to take a 3-2 lead in this one, their first lead of the game after 4. Well, here in North Bay Memorial Gardens, Luke Rona Howie bringing you the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Canada taking on Korea. Canada still unbeaten. Well, Korea just one loss. Same number of wins for both these teams at 6. And it's been back and forth, back and forth. We finally see the first 2 of the game. It comes for Canada to have a 3-2 advantage. Up until last night, there had only been 3 multiple scores against the Canadian side. They gave up 2 last night to Scotland. Showing a little weakness there, a little flaw, giving up those 2 points. Scotland played well, though, to manufacture those, and Korea's going to try and do that now.
Yeah, interestingly, Korea are coming round the centre guard. They're not trying to put out a corner guard and have play round guards on the corners. They know Canada want to play around the 4 foot.
Well, it's a good word for this Korean team is fearless. There's not a lot of stuff that frightens them or scares them away. Very aggressive, have no problem. They'd probably come around the center guard nonstop if they could, but they like to use the corner guard at times. Here they figure get Canada into a little bit of a draw game, a draw of the taps. Well, Don McEwen, the center guard, the freeze on top. Trying to follow it down. Another one heavy here for Kim Young-min.
There, Sean. I think we got here. If you're 2 with Jill, that's fine. Hey, Jill.
14 to T, probably, eh? So. Yeah, I'd say.
That's,
Yeah.
room. T-line. Heavy. Sweep for the T. Back 4. Square line.
They wanted it top 4, but did say it'd be okay if it came back.
Come on. Whoa. Yes. Hard.
Keep it on it. Go, go, go.
All
Good.
changed
Good shot, Jill.
as it comes down. They were talking to going top 4. Everything behind the T line, and for young curlers, this isn't where you want to go with stones.
No, you want to control the top of the 4 foot.
So top 4 foot is ideal now for this one, or do you go bound? We're now back just on the back edge of the button.
Yeah, so if Korea frees that Canadian stone, is there room for Canada to go on top of that to lie short? But this one's tight. It's catching the guard. Oh, no, it's not.
Good sweep, get that by. I didn't think it had a chance getting by that guard.
No.
Kim Sun-young.
Just as well she was maybe a wee bit heavier than...
That might have saved her.
Yes. It does open it up now for Canada to sit right in that nest.
Didn't react like it touched, but it might have just feathered it.
You see how much they're even curling from passing one just top of the house. By the time it gets to T-line, it's really pulling.
You gotta be full court, top button. You gotta be button line.
Yeah, so they want this on the button. Then it'll be very difficult for Korea.
Got 0 line. Top button, guys.
Gotta go.
Go. You got it. It's curling. Go. Hard. Go.
Just did so much of that late curling that the weight came right off.
Maybe we gotta manage that really any different.
Sweepers are really having to work today.
Well, we'll see if that's a factor. This is back-to-back games for the Korean side. That's the first game of the day for Canada.
Korea need to be careful here, though, that they don't jam this back onto the yellow.
What is this? 컨트롤.
This will really pull big at the end. Have they left it too late? Yep, they did.
Crashing on the front, seeing mistakes from both sides here.
Canada do need to play on it because Korea do lie short. If Canada could hit and flop inside, it would be a great result.
I kind of dropped it a little on the release because I thought I kicked too hard.
Back 8.
Yeah, I'm thinking it'll be a little slower on this side.
Yeah.
Followed through a little bit.
Thinking here, Caitlin, do you like that?
Yeah. Maybe a hair less? I don't know if we're coming right to it or just top floor. Trying to just tap it or off. Okay.
Okay.
We have some options. I think it's going to be slower on this side because she drew here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 13-3 or whatever.
Right.
So it's a little tighter path, but I just want to make sure I'm to it, like thinking back 8 weight.
Yeah.
Let's try to curl this round.
Well, heard the comment, just move it back a little bit.
Okay, Rue. It's nice. Sweep for the team. Baby. Yep. Back 8, back 4. Gotta go. Hard. Gotta go. Gotta go, guys. Hard, John. Hard. You got it. Go. Go, 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 go. Back down. Go, go, go. Go, go.
Well, they lined up their stones nicely. They didn't really move it very far.
Yeah.
And the problem Korea have, even if they come in and freeze that perfectly, they'll be very unlikely to score 2 here. Because all these Canadian stones are really jammed on top of each
I
other.
had to sweep it earlier.
Oh, you had
Just
well,
the speed came
that
off.
one, I think,
Curl a bit more.
yeah, the Frostier is getting the more it's curling.
There's no way Korea can move all these 4 reds, but they want to try and shake them up a bit.
See the extra extension in Kayang-A. Well, they leave their shooter in front. That's something they could use, but it's still 1-2 for Team Canada.
At least they did rummel the backing a wee bit, but
Turn you want to throw. I think we got to
still advantage Canada right now.
corner freeze, guys, ideal.
Top 8.
Full 8.
Okay. There's kind of corner freezing theirs. If we just tuck a piece behind theirs, it's not too bad either.
Korea are only 1 down. They need to make sure they score here.
Or all lines, sorry.
Hey, Rube. 8 foot.
Canada really trying to close in the scoring zone on
Top 4.
Korea.
Hey, you got to go then. Whoa, Rube. Yes. Top 4. Yeah.
Yeah, still.
Top 4. Yeah. 4 foot. Hard. Whoa. Yes. Whoa. Yep.
Great shot.
I still don't think you can get 2 out. I think you can get rid of 1. 1 might kick out in the open.
No, I agree. She can lose a
These
couple
reds are
here,
going
but-
nowhere. The best you can hope for is that they just split a bit to give her something on either side to play with.
Just open things up here to try and have a chance to score. Kim Kyung-hae.
Just like that. They were never, the reds were never going to leave the house, but as long as she opened them, it was a pretty good result.
Either one, really.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, half a rock's really close.
Okay. I think this should.
And with all these reds, it's difficult now for Canada to remove it cleanly.
Good. Good.
Firm. Okay.
Just blast it off. I'm sure they don't mind even if they move those back reds on the center line as well. Knowing a freeze is probably coming from their Korean counterparts.
Clean.
Well, more work for Officer and McEwen. Right off those back ones. To lie 4. Well played by the Canadian skip.
That finished more than I thought.
Did.
It will go yellow right off those reds.
So.
There's still a bit of a wall I'm going to have to deal with.
Problem is that one rolled to a really bad spot.
Yes, even if Korea played the absolute perfect freeze here and Canada couldn't remove it, she could just come down and freeze on top and say, you have your one. I'm quite happy with that. We've then got control of the hammer.
Just finished right at the end.
Well, I think that's what Jones will have to do if this is made perfectly. And Kim Young-jung would expect to be pretty close to making this freeze.
Coming now, but it's got a bit of running on it.
Try to make that double A. Right on the nose. Even if I'm on the
Just
nose, it's a
too
hard
much
triple.
weight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking the intern, you?
Yeah, I like that. Because even if we come off,
I just, yeah. Then
Anywhere
they're
except-
even. Okay.
Give me like I'll throw 8.5.
okay, and you're thinking like,
I think I need a little bit more.
There's a hole it could go through, but
Just a nice firm.
just a hair on the broom side of nose and should be okay to get rid of this yellow stone for Team Canada. Trying to get their second force of the game.
Good, Jen.
Well, punch it clean through the hole. And Canada will lie 5. Wasn't a very big hole, but they went right through it.
Good for us. Yeah. It ended a long time, sorry. Just thought you had to be.
Yeah.
Hard to miss this one. I don't know where else we could go, but.
Well, facing 5, do you hit? Do you draw?
I thought she may draw when she had just come down this line with her previous one. but it looks like she's just going to hit this on the nose. She has got a wee bit of room for error because there's so many stones round about.
Yeah, those are actually helping her right now. But facing 5, Kim Young-jung, Olympic silver medalist. Well, hit, rolls into that other one. And as you said, Rona has the other one to catch, but Korea, make sure they score. They get 1. So we will head to the 5th end break. All square, 3-3. Canada, Korea, knew it'd be a good one. It has been through 5. Well, first end, Canada, Korea, and Jennifer Jones. Looks like there's enough here. You get by. Chance to make the double, score 2 early in this game.
Hard.
Canadian front end gets by everything but the last one. Redirects it enough. And it is a early steal of 1 for Team Korea. Second end, both teams struggling to get into the forefoot with key draws. And Jennifer Jones decides to play the tap, make sure she scores. As this one comes down, catches it thin into the forefoot. They get their single point to tie the game up. Third end. A long discussion by the Korean side. Do you play the split? Is it there? You draw for your 1. They decide eventually, draw in, we'll take our single point and take a 2-1 lead at that point as this one comes right to the button. And Canada answers back though with the perfect skips deuce. A draw by Jones on her first, rubbed off the side, set up this little hit and roll off the side. Hit, roll in, score 2, and the Canadians have their first lead after 4. In the 5th end, look at all that red granite all behind the tee line. But last stone belongs to Korea. And Kim Young-jung has the hit. Plenty of room to roll to. Rolls into that other red. Gets a single point to tie the game up halfway through. Well, the other scores, USA gets another steal. They're up 4-1 over China as they play in the 6th end. We're in the 5th end break with Canada having the hammer, but against Korea. Italy 1 up against Denmark with the hammer in 6. And all square, the first non-2, it's a blank in the 5th. Russia keeps the hammer playing end 6 on sheet D. And after five ends, let's look at the numbers. 3-3 is the score, but overall percentage 83 to 71 in favor of Canada. Draw percentage 82 to 71% advantage Canada. Hit percentage 83 to 71 advantage Canada. A stolen point early by Korea, and we sit 3-3 with 5 ends remaining in the game between 6-0 Canada, 6-1 Korea. Winner definitely has a leg up to try and get into that straight berth to the semifinals. Of course, 6 teams into the playoffs. 1 and 2 will play in the semis. 3 through 6 will play in 2 quarterfinals to play against the 1 or 2 seed. Right now, Canada and Sweden are the 1 and 2 seeds. Korea at number 3. Canada will be playing Sweden this evening as well. That's their next game. Korea already winners today in an extra end against the USA. We wondered if this Korean team may hit a wall at some point. It's been a lot of curling in the last couple months. A lot of people asking for their time and publicity and media events and showing off the hardware that they have. The silver medal from the Olympics. Of course, became big rock stars in Korea after the Olympics. Don McEwen, 78% on the game.
Just a wee bit of a bump. Wanted just to freeze on top.
Okay. Where's that?
I think we have to change sides, unfortunately. Okay.
Where is that, Mikey?
Canada would dearly love to get their 2 at this end again when they've got last stone back. Korea will have other ideas.
Well, Jennifer Jones in 2 games against Korea. One at the Worlds, 1 at the Olympic Winter Games. They're 2-0 against Korean teams, not this Korean team, skipped by Kim Young-jung.
Great shot there.
Well, Don McEwen, 2 good ones there in Talai, 1-2. Well, Korea and Kim Young-jung in international play is 1-3 against Canada. Lost it 2 World University Games. Brianne Meakin and Kelsey Rock losing last year at the Worlds to the eventual champion Rachel Homan, but then started off her Olympic run defeating Rachel Homan.
Even if we can just tap one of these Canadian stones back here and sit in front.
It's pretty good. It creates
just rolled a
pocket.
fraction too far. Maybe that Canada could come off the inside of it. great shot.
Well, Canada's starting to sort of put it together a little bit. Some slight miscues by the Korean side, and Canada's taking advantage.
Yep, living dangerously here, Korea, a wee bit, when they don't have last stone.
Well, Kim Sun-young try to play their yellow onto the reds. Just change the angles. Just rolls away. It's still 1-2 right up on the center line. Meanwhile, keep you up to date. It was USA stealing another one. They're now up 5-1 over China, playing the sixth end. 2 straight steals by the Americans. Of course, they gave up a steal earlier today to lose in an extra to this Korean side. Still holding on to playoff possibility at 3-4. A win obviously helps because that drops China down to 5 losses.
Tough call here for Korea to come through this gap and just freeze on top of the Canadian stone.
Lower numbers though. Kim Kyung-hae, 60%, well below her tournament numbers at 82. Wow, just touches that top one there, trying to get a little rub, but rolling away actually hurts because it gets that extra spin.
Yeah, she's just a fraction heavy for the dead freeze and it hung that bit longer.
Here's pretty good.
So a good girdle of stones going on now.
Yeah.
We'll always have that.
Definitely favouring Canada, really.
Jams, right?
How much space is there? Half a rock? Okay, I like going here. Even if you tap hard as a rock, you go there. Right the corner.
Canada really building up a big end here. They've got last stone.
Broom! Let it work!
Well, Caitlin equaling her tournament numbers at 85%.
Yeah, great shot in there.
But at what point does Korea have to try and eliminate some stones? They're starting to add up in the forefoot.
On their last one. Far too many reds in there now, and there's just nothing that Korea can use to help them right now. I think this will need to be quite a big weight to shift some granite.
Oh. See what Kim Kyung-ae can move around in the forefoot now. Well, very nice. Actually kicks 2 of them out of there.
Well, it was a pretty good result.
Well, still not great, but it's better than it was.
Yeah, definitely favouring Canada right now. Canada probably maybe just lie 1 at the moment. It'd be close for second shot. But if they can come right in here, freeze the one in the button, Korea really have nothing.
I was surprised that that one went over the top and didn't touch the yellow
Touch
at all.
nothing. It's amazing. Just come out the side. They don't want to bump here. Now does give Korea a slim chance here.
And now a hit isn't necessary. You
Yep.
play a little tap, and tough to remove some of those yellows now that they have some options.
If they can get the inside roll, even if their second shot here, that would be a good result. They've got a get out of jail free card, I think, here in this one. But they have to make this.
Yeah, got to use it right now. Quick update, another deuce for Russia, so up 6-4 over on sheet D.
Textbook scoreboard. Well,
with the hammer.
with hammers only, not forcing ones, but great hammer efficiency.
Well, Annie here needs to get into the forefoot, play a little tap. Trying to get that roll. Definitely second shot, but what went from Canada having 5 in the forefoot, it's changed very quickly.
And right now, the way they're sitting, Korea are controlling the top of the forefoot. Canada are all back, so Korea really have cleaned this up pretty well within a couple of stones. And that's where they're such a dangerous team, Korea. They're very good at just nudging stones and tapping and leaving things in play so that they can use them.
I don't really see anything good.
And then seeing the angles and then taking advantage.
Unless you play that into the tap again. Or not again, but the one you looked at with Caitlin.
Yeah, but I gotta get low. Like, if I don't get low, I got nothing. Now let's make her get low on that.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we going exactly?
Just halfway guard. Okay. Guard. Speed looks good here, actually, okay?
Yeah.
Canada lies 1 right now, and that's why Jennifer's going to throw the guard, take away something this side, force Korea to play the other side. Well, they said halfway guard, and it's going to come into the rings. And actually taps it up. Looks like shot for Korea now.
I don't think I was that heavy. It's really good there now. Okay, shot now?
Yeah.
So.
Well, Korea's going to call a timeout. This save a little bit of time looking at the angles.
보긴 봤어. 근데 이게 너무 위험하지 않을까 지금?
위험할 그게 없지 않아?
아니면 지금 상대가
내가 이거 그냥 날라가서 안 됐어. 야는 그러면은
그러면 너무 다 열려버리고
이게 각이 이렇게
두 가,
되지. 야를 약간 치고
두 가지로 볼 수 있어. 지금 이거 하나랑 아니면 그냥 아예 가드를 하나 놓든지. 근데 은정이가 지금 이 라인하고 이 라인을 확실하게 안다면 해봐도 괜찮고.
난 이거 해보고 싶다.
근데 그렇게 해도 어차피 주는 점수가 많지 않기 때문에 그게 자신이
어차피
있으면
하면은
그러니까
야가
은정이가
여기서
그게 자신 있으면
야들이
해보고
할게.
그게 아니면
아니,
네가
없어.
생각했을 때 그게 아니면 가드를 놓는 것도
그래야
괜찮아.
더 하고 싶은 거 하는 줄 알 것 같아. 근데 이거 무조건 맞고 가야 돼. 아니면 얇게 까야 돼. 얇게. 이거 원래야.
굳이
이게 맞고 가야 돼. 완전 해봐야 돼.
그럼 경혜가 콜을 할 때 약간 빠지는 것 같아도 좀 일찍 가줘야 돼.
웨이트 안 쳐야 돼요.
여기 거의 여기.
여기 잡으라고?
아니 저기 거의 이렇게 맞아.
좀 많이 얇아도 될 것 같아요.
조금만 더 잡아줘.
Well, an interesting timeout. There are a couple of options here, look.
Looks like they're trying to go the tap on the yellow and try and kick that one in as well. Thought you could throw a guard. There's lots of options that are good.
Yeah, they need to be very careful here. If they move the wrong stone, well, okay.
Could have turned out
It did
interesting
turn out
there.
okay, but
They use that, they kick that one over and they lie 1-2. Slash this yellow off their own. Redirected.
근데 더 이쪽으로 붙여야 돼.
wow.
그리고 야는
They weren't content with just lying one. And this is where Canada's only got that one top of the forefoot to use. As we said, Korea turned the head around. They then became controlling the top of the forefoot.
Then they had those options.
Yep.
This might drag. I don't know what else we have. There's not enough space, Caitlin. I'd have to throw. Okay.
So Canada looked great here for scoring multiple with the hammer. And how an end can turn.
It was looking like, oh, Korea's got to play a couple hits to limit the damage, and now facing 2 on her last, and be fortunate if she can score now.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
Giving up 1 steal already this game.
Yeah.
Red onto the yellows and spin them out. Cuts it down to just a steal of 1. But Korea, a huge steal in that 6th end. It came out of nowhere. They were in a lot of trouble, but find a way to steal 1.
Otherwise, I would hate it. I would feel excited, so scared to touch it. No, but just on some other ones, like what is our philosophy? Okay, you guys are
Probably
on
the
it.
thrower too, and return the throwing really.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Okay, let's go, guys.
Yeah, let's get you here.
Let's not get too frustrated and
figuring it out.
Well, 7th end of this one, and that was a head scratcher of an end. That one looked like, if you watched the first half, stepped away and came back and saw a steal, you're wondering what went on. It was definitely a tale of two halves in that 6th end, but Korea gets the steal, and now a 4-3 lead. How big is it that they steal that in an even end?
Yeah, I think for Korea, they'd be happy that they did get the steal, but on the other hand, they would probably play that end hoping to force one. So when they saw that opportunity to try and steal, they just grabbed it. And really, Jennifer Jones did as much as she could there to eliminate one of them. But they know, even though this is the 7th end, it's an odd end, but Canada will certainly be trying for their 2. And Korea have, although they've got up their centre guard, their shot in the house is only 12 foot. So Canada can come right in here now to the 4 foot. Dawn McEwen just slipping behind the tee again. Just gives Korea that opportunity.
Well, and another one going deep. That's something Canada really needs to try and manage. They have had very poor rock placement in the last few ends, especially that last end, last 2 ends for that matter. Everything deep, everything that if Korea makes a couple earlier, they steal one last. Even in 5, if they make a good freeze, they probably score a 2.
And Korea love this freezing game. That's the game they love to play.
Okay, so this will be a one to watch now, Jill Officer. Shot Stone's back 4 foot, and they want to go top 4 foot.
That's better.
It's better, goes right to the Ford logo and keeping you up to date with everything else that's going on. You see an anomaly over on sheet D. It's a single point in the seventh end for the Czech Republic. So 6-5. Russia has the lead and the hammer in that 8th end. Italy gets 1. They're down 6-5 now to Denmark, but Denmark has the hammer. And China gets a deuce in the 7th end, so 5-3 as they play in the 8th end. USA, though, gets the hammer back. Well, everything getting real closed in on that rings. The scoring zone just shrunk down.
Yeah, Canada can't risk losing anything at this end. So they need to make sure they open it up. Try and generate a 2 behind there.
Well, try and get both. Very nice. Double peel. They make that shot look easy. That can change the look of an end. Now nothing on the center line. It is Canada lying 1 on the button.
For the way it's lying at the moment, it would be difficult for Canada to get in there to get 2. If Korea keep guarding. This is going a lot further than they had wanted it to. Yeah, it could allow Canada actually to even just hit that one and roll in behind cover. Try and start generating a 2 here.
Well, trying to roll off to the side, keep it around.
Korea persevering with this guard.
Well, they're happy trying to guard things up, knowing that it's tough to try and get another one in there to score 2.
Yeah. They would be delighted to force Canada to win here. But they also need to be careful if Canada get the opportunity to move the stones about in the house. They've got other counters now in the rings. Oh, and they've maybe have they left.
Could maybe play quiet off that top one and roll another one and keep another counter in.
Do everyone want to move it or no?
Because it was really the other side that Korea wanted to
It's not
cover.
bad at all. I don't think you need to move it though. Okay.
The only thing not moving it, though, is they may just continue to guard it.
Like a hair tied ice sweep.
Becomes more dangerous to guard it.
Yeah, I thought they would have come in at just a tap back weight here, but then I suppose they're opening up their shot, which they don't really want to do.
Line's great. Still needs to finish. It's pretty close. Line's good. Can't tap on this line. Yep. Whoa. No good. Yep. 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 Good.
Curl a little bit.
I think it did just, maybe just a little over curl. They're hoping to keep a better angle. They can move it without touching their own.
A long guard here really would be perfect for Korea.
Yeah, I don't think you need to come into the rings at all. Coming in, you just allow Canada to play something.
See where she's indicating. Oh, well.
If you're going to miss, be a tight guard as opposed to being 4 feet heavy.
Yeah, I definitely think err on the light side.
Giving us something.
I think we gotta try
They're
to
the
move
shots
around.
Jennifer loves to play.
That's what I was thinking. That might be our best way.
If Korea went short, Jennifer would have to peel. She would have no option. That's exactly where she nominated.
It tucked enough underneath that I don't think any...
Where's it go?
Yeah, it looks like it's going into the 7.
What?
It looks like it's going to 7.
Line up those red guards.
Yeah, but if it goes on the 7, it kills the 7. She's almost got to play the same shot, and then I've got it. Then those are out of the way, and I can draw the button.
Okay. We just have to watch where our shooter goes, right? I'm thinking we gotta, like, get it to. Unless you just try and hit it into the 7.
Probably a better mistake, because then we could have it keep spinning. Yeah, right? Do you like firm?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm thinking like 3/4 or. Yeah.
Close to the nose, like 7/8, just to get them spinning.
Think they can spin it off that top one or right onto the red in the top of the 4-foot?
Yeah, it's hard to see from here if there's any gap at all between the two. because it's looking like it would probably spin off the top one.
Whoa. 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 Spin.
Well, what reaction will it get?
Okay.
Sticks it off that top one. Leaves them their stone they could use.
That's good. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, they're good. And
Just gotta guard it. I could almost run this back. What do you think for speed? I missed your time, unfortunately. 방금 웨이트는 얼만데? 반? 더 잡아줘.
Surely Korea just really need to guard now. Could she bring it into kind of top 12 to
Take away
prevent?
the angle again.
Yeah, and block the draw. Because that's the only other shot Canada really have.
웨이트 기다려야 될 것 같아. 라인 좋아. 하나 둘. 라인 언니야 언니야. 하나 둘. 하나 둘.
Well, a force here for Korea would be perfect. They've been playing the entire end to get that. Long guard takes away that red. There's the button to get to. Not a lot, but it's there.
Yep, the draw's there for two. They just needed that guard a fraction over to the right-hand side.
Like where I threw that guard in the house, it's like 4.5. Do you think, what am I thinking here?
is this further than Caitlin?
Yeah, a little bit. 4 might be close. It's not that bad at all, okay? Okay. You need the T-line, but we also need lines. Okay.
So a dead button draw, just what a skip wants.
Well, said it's not just a matter of T-line weight. You got to have the perfect line as well for Jennifer Jones, last of the 7th, trying to get another multiple point score.
Line's good.
Well, well done. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Line only.
Well, up to the sweepers now. Try and take this one to the button. Waits right there, right down to it. Will it catch enough? Spins off. I think it spun off a little too much.
What an effort.
I think just one. I don't think sweepers did a lot to take that.
Yeah, might as well measure.
I think it's just one, but that was a very good effort from Jennifer Jones.
Did it bounce off ours?
Hair.
Shoot.
Really nice throw. Yeah.
I thought I made it.
Yeah, I did too. Looked like it was slowing down in the top four and then it slipped.
Darn. Okay, well, we gotta throw double guards here, I think, don't we? I guess not really, just one, eh? And if we get a blank out of it.
It
Well, just-
hardly did move off it,
Yeah.
did it?
Weight was
Had it.
just a hair deep, I think.
So it rubbed off, eh? Because it looked like it was coming in nice.
Kind of caught the back end.
Who knows? The measure may go in their favor. It's hard to tell from this angle.
13.5.
Well, you see the micrometer, it almost goes to the 2 on the red stone. Oh, and it is red, so they do get their 2. It is a second point for Canada. Great draw. So a 5-4 lead now for Canada. Canada's preparing to throw the 2 guards, and it's a 1-point lead. Well, keeping you up to date. We had a 3 scored by Russia, so they are now up. It's 9-5 in the 9th end there. On sheet C, Denmark still leading Italy 6-5 as they play an 8. Ours at 5-4 game in 8. And USA with the hammer in the 8th end lead 5-3 over China. Both those teams on sheet A, 4 losses. Can't really afford to drop too many more. A big game between those two at 3 and 4. Well, on sheet D, both those teams have 4 wins. Czech Republic 4 and 3. Russia 4 and 2. Russia really put themselves in a good playoff position. If they can come up with a win in this one, they'll sit 5 and 2 with 5 games remaining. And you go 3 and 2 in your last 5.
Yep, that should be pretty good for Russia to qualify.
Right now they sit right behind Korea, and they could actually be tied with Korea if Canada holds on to the score the way it is right now. But we've seen things swing. That was quite the draw by Jennifer Jones. I thought it rolled off too far, but the measure shows it was a deuce. And a great draw.
Yeah, even Canada thought they hadn't made it. Caitlin Laws thought it was just 1 for Canada.
Yeah, they were preparing of whether we put 2 guards up, we put 1 up. And you could see them after even discussing both sides a little surprised. So we look at the numbers. Kim Young-mi, 75%. This is going to be a fun finish to the end of this one.
Well, if we see the same number of stones that we've seen in the last few ends, keep us entertained. It's the first time I think we've seen Korea put their corner guard out.
Yeah, we haven't done that very often with Canada coming up short in a tight center.
Eighth end, Korea would really be liking to get their 2 here.
Well, a quick update is on sheet A, they have finished their 8th end. USA takes 1 with the hammer, so a 6-3 lead. 2 ends remaining. USA in good position to try and pick up win number 4. USA will have the night off, the morning off, and then we'll play Denmark and Germany tomorrow. Well, here's Korea trying to use that corner guard. Probably come out completely the other side.
Yeah, the guard's just a bit high.
I'm about 3/4.
You're really needing your corner guards on the Ford logo, just so that you can bury behind them without poking out the other side.
Jill Officer, you saw her numbers, 96 on her draws, 79 on her hits, 88 overall.
That's good, Jill.
Nice.
Good.
Nose hit, lie 2.
So Korea know that they need to open this front up. They can't afford to lose anything now they're 1 down. Ideally want to get their 2.
This is an experienced call to try and hit and roll onto the side. You wouldn't think it, but maybe a couple of years ago you wouldn't have saw it from this Korean team. Just their 2nd trip, their back-to-back trips to the World Championship. Finished 6th last year. Trying to hit off the center line.
Could have done with a wee bit more running on it.
Weight seemed to really come off that one.
Like peeling the longer.
Canada lying 3.
We're just rolling her off. Is it bad or no?
Just opens up the gird. Yeah. I don't mind that, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Same weight, Jill?
Sure. Feels.
Ronen knows pretty good on this one too.
Yeah, definitely, because Canada want to control the top of the house. Don't let Korea have a way in behind cover.
I think it will, yeah. Pardon? It will, yeah.
No. Close. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, roll it, Dawn. Roll it.
A slight flop to the...
Good shot.
Oh, it's gone further.
Just further than they wanted it. As Jen said, it does open up the corner guard. And right now with those stones all top of the 12 foot, you can draw in behind to lie one.
Yeah, and I think if Korea realise they can't get rid of everything, should they just come round their corner now because they've got the red cover as well. So I think two might go and get the shooter rolled over.
Well, just important, got to hold the shooter here. Kim Sun Young. Well, look at that. Gets the little roll over and will sit behind cover that way.
I think we could probably chase this. Hey, it's overburied a little.
Wow, that one got us some nice action off of that second stone.
And that's what she nominated. But I thought they were going to just throw it a bit heavier to try and spread Canadian stones about a bit more. But it was the shooter that's what she wanted, the result.
Good numbers for Caitlin Law. She's at 89 overall, 100%, just 2 hits on the game. Well, got to it relatively easy. Punches that one, lies. Possibly 4, that might be a biter.
The best roll here probably would be behind the staggered reds. As I say, the corner, even if you get behind it, it's easy to come round because it's so long.
Kim Kyung-ae struggling a bit in this game, 63% overall. Well, persistent trying to roll to the wing.
So Korea still persevering coming round this corner, but I really don't think they can get properly buried.
Yeah.
Because even if it's fully buried, you can still come round on both hands.
Well, being persistent to try and see if they can get a mistake out of Canada. This last of third stones now.
It's looking heavy. Sweeper standing back. Is it going to die? It does.
But look at the, as you said, Rona, the separation between it and that guard out in front. Chase it, you go after it from there, use it with your own on the side.
Probably not going to have more than an inch.
What do I have? Couple inches? Less than Caitlin? Yep. I still think you can chase it though.
10 and a half. Okay.
Yeah, it was such a long way from the guard, and that's where it really does pull in.
More like an inch. Are they shot or are we shot? Shot for draw. I think you can chase it still. But... We're shot.
Saying we're shot.
I think I can get this.
Well, if you don't think you can see enough, they have that red one. They can try and come off the side one. You have to throw it a lot harder to do that.
Now this is where if that guard was up nearer the Ford logo, it's much better to bury behind. And a few teams have been caught out with that this week, leaving the guards too high.
See the numbers, Jennifer Jones, 81% on the hits.
Okay, wait, fine. Yeah.
Oh, another sweep. Well, they get by.
Hard, Caitlin. Hard, Caitlin. Go, go, go.
Tap that one right through.
They said solid, so I thought it would rattle. Barely got it out.
Yeah. It's not solid.
가드 너무 타이트하잖아요.
위에 있잖아.
You almost wonder if there'd be a draw around on the in-turn round the staggered reds onto the forefoot. I think it's the best place to hide.
They're looking at it now, but playing with the in-turn around it. Or pardon me, the out-turn.
Wherever they leave it, to make sure that that red that they're coming around isn't raisable onto it.
Well, 95 on her hits, 78 on the draws and out-turn. By the counterclockwise rotation.
She's not missing this top guard by much to get the draw round pass. What a shot.
Great effort. Just didn't want to go too deep that it allowed Jones to freeze on it. It goes just a little deeper. They were on it hard to hold the line, and they barely got past that corner guard.
And that one is top 8, and she's buried by the tee line. Shows you how much that's curled.
I didn't think this early. We got to get by that yellow guard.
Now is it different? Jennifer Jones got to follow it up. They throw their stones a little differently.
You think I need less?
Tough to try and manage following that same path.
Looks good here. Hey?
Yep.
Yeah, she can't afford to bounce off it. She'd be better coming up slightly shorter of it than anything.
Line's good. Room. Wait's close. Line's great.
Well, she knew her draw weight at the last end, so.
Really close. Line's great. Line's perfect. Go down. Hard. Low line. Line's great.
I'll get it.
Well, it gets by with about the same room, and
No, it's heavy.
No.
just that little bounce is the bounce enough to open it. Tough to say.
Better than I thought.
Made that one a lot easier than the Korea and Kim Kyung-ae.
Oh, that was a great shot there from Jennifer Jones. She was a slightly different line, but it really pulled big at the end, even with the ounce of running. Great shot. Difficult for Korea to even get their one now.
I don't think you can. I don't think it's there for two. You
No.
just try and tap it back, and got to throw enough to move it off that yellow too. Not an easy shot.
백업까지.
방금 몇 시였어? 아, 거의 진짜 붙여서 뒤에다가 내야 될 거야.
She's frustrated after playing such a good first one. She's not even getting the chance to go for two.
Yeah, 14-1. Like 13 to...
I know.
어, 웨이트 쌤, 백업.
Well, final stone here, Kim Young-gung. Ups her weight. Is it going to run as they want it to?
It only really draws at the end as soon as the weight's coming off.
Try and bounce it off it. Can they roll it far enough? They won't. Canada's going to get a steal. And a 2-point lead into the 9th end of this game. Just overthrew it a little bit and leaves us 6-4 after 8. Well, Luke Coley here with Rona Howie as we bring you the 9th end Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Our featured game, Canada taking on Korea. Playoff positioning important. Canada 6-0, Korea 6-1, half a game back. But also comes in head-to-head record for possible positioning on tiebreakers. And Korea already losing one to Sweden, who sit at 8-0 atop the field. Tough to try and get past them, but a loss here drops to 2 losses, and they are 2 back of Canada. Would be too much to come back with virtually 3 games back if they lose it because of the tiebreaker. So first stone in, corner guard, Canada a 2-point lead. They get their first steal. Korea has been unable to get a multiple score yet in this game. Canada with 1.
And Korea really tried hard at the last end to use their corner cover, but it just wasn't good enough cover to get behind to set up their 2. But a fantastic draw by Jennifer Jones to really kill the end.
Yeah, some great shot making by the skips on there's a great draw. Kim Young-jung draws right in behind. But Jones just a little bit better, putting hers in front and not leaving a shot for a single point. Kim Young-mi now try and get a second corner out in front.
Yeah, putting both these corners on the Ford logos, so that's good because they're much more usable there.
Well, this is where Jill is pretty locked in when you get into the Peel game. Keep things nice and clear out in front. Canada lies 2, both on the center line. We do have one final we can tell you as Russia runs the Czech Republic out of stones to win 9-5. So Russia now with their 5th win, they sit 5-2. And they're right there lurking behind Korea. Meanwhile,
We can try the double, but I think we just lose this one.
just finishing up their 9th end, it's on sheet C, Denmark, the 7-5 lead over Italy. Italy with a hammer in the 9th end of that game. We'll get you an update there shortly. And 6-4, USA leads China in the 10th end.
You're good.
USA has the hammer and the 2-point lead.
Again, this corner guard for Korea is still a bit long, so they're saying to put a second one round it. So don't need to come into the house. Just biting, so that's good there.
It's on. I think we just do.
We're gonna do it.
Canada wouldn't be too bothered here if they did lose a 2 at this end, and then Peel's coming home with the hammer.
They just don't want to bring a 3 into play, and that's what that guard will do. That one just biting it. Korea does have to move the Canadian stones in order to try and generate their offense.
Yeah, and the red stones are fairly well frozen in the center line.
Well, decision time here. You go try and get this one on the nose. Do you play it quiet? A few different options of how to move those stones around.
Just got to make sure your 2 yellow counters that are in the house, there's plenty separation between them so that Canada can't lift across the house double.
Well, just in front, gets rid of one of those Canadian stones Korea still has a little work to do, but they have a couple in there trying to get their 2. Would be a game-tying deuce. Well, catch it thin. Just sort of a plan B the way it lined out. Ticks that one over.
Did. I straightened it out a hair on you, but
Just a hair thicker.
touched it.
I don't know if they would add enough to move it out of the rings.
Oh, then with big group.
Yeah, exactly.
So Korea looking with no guards in play. How can they generate 2 here?
Got to deal with that at some point.
Well, quick update. Italy and Denmark now tied. Italy gets a deuce in the 9th end, so they play the 10th. 7-7.
They were really wanting to bring that back and freeze the red.
Hit and go behind.
I just hate to create a spot where it's too hard to get that one. So if we pick, if she comes down to this one, we sit 2 and just make a double.
If we pick this one out, she's going to make a play on that.
And we might have.
It's either that or we try to stay right here. If I roll right here, what does she do? If I nose,
Makes the back double, then she makes a double and you'll have a double back.
yeah.
Okay. I'll call it to like
We just
not
gotta make sure we
overroll.
don't jam. Yeah, 9.5.
Okay.
It's either that or we play this, but that one, this opens up that red.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want her to be able to play that side of that rock. So.
Yeah. Nine and a half.
Okay.
Just try to roll it, kind of splitting center, Jill.
Okay.
Well, it's all not just this shot looking. That shot in advance, 2 shots in advance. What's left? Just a little roll. Sets right on the button to lie 2.
That's a great result because now Korea are going to have a difficult job to score to her here because they can't remove both of those easily.
Now they're going to hit and basically will need a miss out of Canada.
And the
May not
chances
get
of
shot.
that are pretty slim.
Jennifer's really picked up her game after that steal in the 6th end. It's just sort of bounce back, and really built up their game. I'll keep you up to date. Another final. The USA wins, so the USA moves to 4-4. China drops to 3-5. So USA right in the thick of things. They're now tied with the Czech Republic at 4-4. They'll be tied for that final, those last 2 playoff spots. China just on the outside looking in. Japan a half game back at 3-4. Russia sitting pretty good spot now at 5-2. Canada still yet to play Russia too, so well, can't touch the top one and make the hit too. Will hit, stick there. They'll lie second and third.
An easier double for Jennifer.
It's hard to miss.
But to be fair, there wasn't much else Korea could do there, because they had to take that one without catching the top one.
Yeah, it could have been danger if they would have touched the top one, but also if they threw enough weight, could be good. They could have touched it just over and rolled the shooter away. But to try and call line to just
nick.
Catch a millimeter of that stone.
Yeah. So it just looks like a perfect target here for Canada. Right in the middle.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa! Close! No! Close!
I'll try and make the double.
But the big thing there, Luke, was before Jennifer even played her first stone, she was thinking where she had to place her shooter there so that Korea could only play that shot and leave her a double. That was what was in her mind several shots ago. And it's the forward planning. She's not left an easy draw for one for Korea.
Not at all. Facing three, needs the button. We've seen Jen make a couple for Canada key draws. Now it's up to the Korean skip, Kim Young-jung.
Is it going to stop?
They've backed right off. Needs to stop. It will not. It slides how far? And a steal of two. That will make it a 4-point game. Canada now leads after 9 ends.
You almost got totally taken out again.
I thought you were taking out again.
That one wasn't bad. Beautiful, right on your face. Yeah.
Well, and took some discussion, but Korea decides, you know what, that's enough. Canada hasn't given up a 4 all week long, and they concede defeat as it is a victory. They knock off Korea, so Canada stays unbeaten, moves to 7-0, sets up 7-0 Canada, the 2014 Olympic champs, versus the 8-0 Swedes, the 2018 Olympic champions. Tonight, the North Bay Memorial Gardens. It will be a fun one. Fight.
Bye, everyone.
No, sorry, say that again. Is the other team not doing the same thing? Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. No, I thought when we were down here, we were just, the Canada game was done. We were done. Yeah. Well, the 10th end here, 7-7 Italy and Denmark. 3 stones remaining in this one. As you see, Italy is lying 2. Italy still coming in with 5 losses. Can't really afford to lose another, and you have Denmark at 1-6. Angelina Jensen trying to get past that corner guard, won't be able to.
I tried to keep the end clear, but because there was a guard and 2 in the house, she thought there she comes round first. It would put the pressure on Italy, but by catching that guard, she's really blocked her way up in now.
Yeah, she's got that yellow on the right-hand side in the overhead you see there that may have to tap up. Don't know if she has an out-turn draw. It's tough, the out-turn draw where her shooter just went to. I've been following this sheet to see exactly if it would come off and get by the front. You see there, looks like they may have that draw path by Denmark touching it.
But if Italy come in here, top 4, I'm going to block the draw in. Really, Denmark are going to have a very difficult shot to play.
So So 7-7, 10th end, Italy and Denmark. They don't come in, they actually put another stone out. Draw still might be there, but we've just seen a couple now in that spot come up with misses.
Yeah, Angelina Jensen will just have to decide what she's more comfortable playing. The tap up, draw around. Well, it's looking like the tap.
There's some room for error with this. You can go, you can be a little heavy as long as you have the right line to that other red. A couple of last draw misses are Angelina Jensen and Denmark that cost them games. An extra end game against Czech Republic, they lost. Trying to avoid that now. The final shot here, this 10th end. Need the tap. Trying to give Italy a 6th loss, win their second game. Trying to tap that one up. Right angle to that red one. Look at that. Great shot for the win. Fabulous shot to pick up the victory for Angelina Jensen and Denmark. That a hard-fought win. 8-7 final. Denmark picks up the victory. What a wild one that one was.
The party continues over at the match. There are 3 shuttles waiting for outside. That's right, the match is happening over at the Granny Club, and we have 3 shuttles that take you there just outside on the Chippewa Street. If you do have tickets for the 7 p.m. game, you do have to exit the building so we can clean up and get ready. So that means everybody that's have to leave and we enter at 6 p.m.
Well, our feature game, Canada-Korea, was a close-fought battle, and then Canada took control of it late, winning 8-4 here in session 13. Well, in Canada, Korea, all those red belong to Canada. Back of the rings, Kim Young-jung has to play the hit. Couldn't get anything going with the hammer in this end. With her last, will make the hit, a roll, and get a single point. Sixth end, and this one really swung. Last stone here without the hammer for Kim Young-jung. Play the yellow, kick it over to lie 2. This would force Jennifer Jones to play her red back into it to try and cut the steal down. And this, the best that she can do, right into it. No way they were getting rid of both those yellows. And they give up the steal. So Korea had lead at that point, but this is where it swung. Jennifer Jones and her team left this out-turn draw path open. Had to get the button. Canadian team right down to it. It rubs, shot stone rolls away, and sits there with the measure. It was a second point for the Canadian side, and they get a big deuce. And then in 9, Jennifer Jones with her final shot. Set it up with her first. Got to look at the double. Sticks it right there in front. Leaves a little bit of the button open. Kim Young-jung had to put it right on the button to get one and get in, cut the lead in half. Won't do that. It slides right by, and it's going to be a steal of 2. After some thought, Korea then decides we're going to concede. We've had enough. Korea drops their second. Canada picks up the victory. The other scores from session 13, USA defeats China 8-4. Same score as Canada and Korea, while Denmark knocks off Italy 8-7, and Russia picks up a big win against the Czech Republic 9-5. And that leaves us like this. Sweden and Canada both unbeaten. They'll play tonight. Korea right behind at 6-2. Followed closely by the Russians at 5-2. Then Czech Republic, US at 4-4. Japan, China, Switzerland all at 3 wins. While Denmark, Italy, and Scotland 2-6. And Germany rounds it out with a 1-6 record. Here, after 13 sessions, myself, Luke Coley, Rona Howie, and the entire crew, thanks for watching the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2018.